Y'all need to help Stephen Phillips out over there. Out the door and off the radio.
Here's Stephen Phillips.
All righty, folks. Hope everybody's doing good out there. I got one of my favorite YouTubers on here, not to mention the man that knows more about automotive cars than anybody that I know. Steve Maggs, good morning. Do we make it?
Good morning. Good morning. Good to be here again, Steve.
Hey, I'm glad to see you, man. Y'all go to stevemaggs.com. He has got all his stuff on there that he is doing, not to mention his YouTube channel, which is absolutely outstanding. But let's get to some of the start in your career. You actually was Hot Rod Magazine. I mean, where did you get started with it in this?
Yeah, I was born in New York City in 1964, not 1864, 1964.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm 57, but I grew up in Massachusetts, but moved to Los Angeles in 1990 to either act or write for Hot Rod Magazine, and did a little bit of extra work in movies. If you blink, you'll miss me. Doesn't matter. But I was doing a lot of writing for various magazines, Chrysler Power, Mopar Action, Drag Racing Monthly. And then that brought the attention of Ro McGonigal, who was the editor of Hot Rod. He called me and was I available to become tech editor? I said, yeah, I'll be there. So I was 7 years at Hot Rod, 1998 through 2005, I think it was. So it was wonderful. And that led to everything, really, doing Hot Rod Magazine TV, which led to Barrett Jackson, and everything from there is uphill.
Yeah. Well, now the Barrett Jackson is, I mean, it's a lot of work, but that has got to be so much fun. I haven't been yet, but I'm going one day just to hang out and do that. But now, how long have you been doing the Barrett Jackson?
17 years. We'll be in West Palm Beach, actually, April, 8, 9, 10, something like that. So tune in if you get a chance. It's on History Channel and FYI. But you guys are in Florida, or where are you located?
We're in Georgia.
Georgia, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Pardon my ignorance. I'm in Massachusetts, so what do I know? But yeah, Barrett Jackson, 17 years of that, and that's 4 times a year. And it's a blast to be part of that. It's the world's best rolling car show, and it's just an amazing thing. The Scottsdale auction is the one. If you're going to go to one of them, that's the one. That's the mothership, where you'll see everything from Bugattis to Bentleys to Roadrunners to Hemi Cudas. It's all there. Shelby's, the whole mix.
Right. I love it, man. And then your YouTube channel, tell us a little, I watch it. I've actually rang the bell. So every time you come up, I get to watch a new video, but you do what's called the Junkyard Crawl. You actually started this on Motor Trend magazine, I guess. And then
that's right. Well, the Motor Trend channel is a recent thing. It replaced Velocity Channel, and it's all automotive programming. And for 3 seasons, I had a thing called Roadkill's Junkyard Gold, which was a half-hour show where we went all over the country and basically went into junkyards and found interesting cars. Didn't try to buy them, flip them, sell them, none of that stuff. Because as soon as you start touching them, they start costing you money. Although there's a lot of stuff that's very valuable, a lot of diamonds sitting in junkyards right now. Mm-hmm. But with that said, Roadkill's Junkyard Gold ended after 3 years, and I said, well, there's too many cars left to tell. So I have a YouTube channel, and I do a thing called the Junkyard Crawl, same thing. And it's free. Just Google in or whatever it is. Just log on or subscribe, I should say. There you go. And every day about a 7-minute long vehicle walk around, from a Chevy Citation X11 to a GTO convertible. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in junkyards. And the sad thing is, these days, most junkyard owners, they now call themselves recycling centers, they know what they have.
Yeah.
And the days of crushing, Coronet RTs are over. But that's great. They're being saved, and luckily, hopefully, eventually, they'll all get back on the road and be preserved and loved as they should be.
But there's a lot of folks out there like me, and I'm a car guy. I tell everybody I'm the Jay Leno of junk cars, because I got quite a few junk cars, but nothing like what Jay's got. But I got probably as many as he does. But I love to just walk through the junkyard, man. If I go out of town somewhere and I see an old junkyard, it looks like it's got some interesting cars, I'm like, hey, do you care if I just kind of wander through here and peep? And I love doing that.
Yeah, it absolutely. I do find that I do a few different kinds of videos. I love model cars. Like, here's a Sox and Martin what if altered wheelbase Roadrunner right here. This is something that never existed in reality. But I built this thing in about 2 months. It took some time. It's steering wheels and stuff like that. But anyway, when I do videos about model cars, they're okay. People watch them. But the number one thing is Junkyard Crawl. And I think what it is, it's the precarious thrill of gold discovery, treasure hunt, where walking through a boneyard, you don't know if that Camaro is a 6-cylinder coupe, 3-speed manual, or an old SS 396 or a Copo 427. You don't know until you find out.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to say that every Mustang's a Boss 429 until you know it's not. You know what I mean? Because there's too many cars that have been just, forgotten in the junkyard that have been discovered by one lucky person with their eyes open who discovered that Shelby GT500 in the junkyard. It happens. So anyway, I get it. For car people, men and women, going to the junkyard for a sightseeing tour is like going to Disneyland or a museum.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It really is a museum.
Yeah, I guarantee. Now, I got to ask you one question. I watched this. Who is your helper? Who does your filming? We never find out who's doing. Is this your son or?
No. I don't have a kid, but it's a thing where I understand everything about the shiny side of the lens, but on the other end of things, editing and uploading and all that kind of stuff, it's just one bridge too far for me. So I have a technical helper, I guess you might say. And right now I'm partnering with a business called High Octane Classics in Auburn, Massachusetts. They sell everything from Ferraris to Fords, everything. And I give them 1 day a week of me doing walk around videos on their inventory. And they give me 2 days with this fellow named Shane Richardson, who is their videographer. So I have a helper. And I wish I had a full-time person because I could probably make way more videos. But as it is now, I go to the junkyard 1 or 2 days a week. And then the rest of the week, I write and get ready for the next round. If this thing should take off, I probably will make this far more full-time. But, it's a thing where you got to pay people for their time and effort. I get that. So
I think it's going to take off. And I like the junkyard crawl because it's usually about 10 or 15 minutes long, which is about what people watch nowadays when it comes to video or anything like that. When you get into hour and a half, people seem to tend to go away. But, the knowledge that you have on these cars, you have wrote many books about far as the specs on different cars and stuff that you've got. How many books do you have out?
Well, I've written 5 books, and you're probably referring to this one, Stevie Nunner's 1001 Muscle Car Facts. And This is actually, it's out of print, which is kind of wacky. But anyway, it's a thing where CarTech Books out of Minnesota, they're a great publishing house. Almost anything you can imagine has been written about Jeeps, Ferraris, drag racing. Dino Don Nicholson, who spent a lot of time in Georgia, a great Chevy drag racer from the past, and Ford. But anyway, CarTech Books, they've done a bunch of books, 1001 Mustang Facts, this sort of thing right here. And so anyway, these things are often available on Amazon. I don't sell them personally, but at any rate, I've written a fair amount of books, but just giving cars a voice is my number one passion. And whether it's in paper and ink or, now with the video. And it is astonishing, really, how these last 10 years or so, we can now give everything a voice. Everybody has a YouTube channel. And it's a great thing that we now have a voice. Don't have to wait for somebody at NBC to see the light after 6 years of pitching a story or a show to say, okay, you can have 5 minutes at the end of the Tonight Show or something. Now you can do whatever you want. It's great. If the world likes it, they come running, which is cool. It's great. That should be.
Well, now you do the junkyard crawl. Do you find, is that like you're in the junkyard up there next to you? Do you seem to does it sell some of the cars that you walk around? I mean, I see some you're looking at and I'm thinking, dang, I think I could do something with that. Do they ever sell any of these after you've done your walk around on them? I mean, does it happen promote their junkyard?
Yeah, I generally describe where we are. I asked the junkyard owners, and right now I'm in Massachusetts. When I was with Motor Trend, Roadkill's Junkyard Gold, there was a big budget, and we would travel all over the country. And there were 30 episodes from South Carolina, North Carolina, California, Arizona, Texas, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania. But now I kind of have a short leash, at least for now, for this season. So it is true that I go to local yards and I always say, hey, I'm here at Burleson Auto Wrecking or One Stop Towing or whatever it might be. So that if folks do want to reach out to the owner and buy that car or fix it or get a wheel off it, whatever, it can move a step closer to living again. So sometimes that does happen. I have nothing to do with that. I get permission. I don't pay the yard anything. They say, well, okay, come on in. A lot of yards are hesitant to have people come in. And because if somebody trips and stubs their toe or who knows what, that kind of thing. But so they give me the opportunity to walk through the yard, and I'll certainly say where the car is. And if people want to connect the dots from there, they certainly can. And some do, but that's not really my part of the picture.
Yeah. Well, I can see, because some of them, when you're doing that, I'm just all excited. I'm like, dang, I think I could, I ain't seen one of them forever. But you've got, like you said, you did the citation the other day, and I thought, man, alive, citations. I mean, golly, who would have thought?
I got to say, right out of college, 1986, I had a job at a place called Ragsdale Chevrolet in Spencer, Mass. They're gone, but I sold a Chevy Citation. There was a leftover 85 on the lot, and I can actually say that I sold a Citation. And I mean, back then they were not. Well, here's the thing: the '80s were a tough time for the auto industry, and it's astonishing today that we have a mid-engine Corvette that'll outrun almost any Ferrari or Lamborghini, or at least run with it for $65,000 for a base car. We have the Challenger Demons that run 9s. And, you know, in the 80s, we thought we would not have V8s. You know, when the IROC Z got a 230 horsepower, 5.7, we thought it was like, wow. And so the standards are pretty low. So, but now with the passage of time, those cars are worth a second look. And certainly today, IROC Zs, 5-liter Mustangs, Grand Nationals, those things are serious, and people are buying them. But the other stuff, the second and third and 10th string celebrities, and I do say that with a pun, the Chevy Celebrity, of course, followed the Citation. But the 80s were a dark time, front-wheel drive. But a clean example of any of those things today is well, it's an interesting thing. So why not talk about it? You know, if nothing else, then to say how far we have come.
Yeah. You know? I'm with you. Of course, they laughed at me, but I bought one of them little Shelby Charger 2.2 turbos the other day just so I'd have a Shelby. I've got a Shelby, so I'm excited, you know.
Yeah, you know, I remember when those cars were new. Remember the Omni GLHS, or the Goes Like Hell Shelby. Ooh, you know, the whole thing. And that was a heck of a little car, 4 doors, but it was very potent, giant killer. And again, at that time, you got to remember, 1978, Chrysler filed bankruptcy. You know, Lee Iacocca comes, and they saved the company with front-wheel drive only vehicles. They went lowball, but it worked.
Yeah.
It worked, and without that stuff. But it was a depressing time because Chrysler did not have a rear-wheel drive platform except for the trucks. So they didn't have anything. Well, the Fifth Avenues and stuff, sure, in the mid-'80s, but the front-wheel drive stuff was supposed to be the big, bright future, which to me, it kind of reminds me of the electric cars today, which there's half parts hype and half parts reality. I'm all for electric cars, but I like to say that as soon as you freeze a picture of a traffic jam, anywhere you can see it, and if every one of those cars in that traffic jam can recharge at the same time, we're there.
Yeah.
Interest rate, but it ain't there, man. It's taking a long time. So I get it. You know, I appreciate them. But also I remember the metric system. Remember that metrics in the mid 70s, the world's like, oh my God, there was these mandates that all state signs had to be registered in kilometers per hour and miles per hour. It's a whole thing. Here it comes, people. Get ready. It's coming, whether you like it or not. Well, it kind of, you know, it whizzed out. It was gone. So you never know. Electric cars are interesting. You know, they're cool, but we'll have pistons and gasoline, I think, for a good long time. And it's cool.
I'm going to tell you, I got a buddy of mine put a set of glass packs on an electric car, and it didn't make a bit of difference. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. It never overheats. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I'm going to tell you, I want to ask you one more thing before we get going. You're actually building a very, very cool car right now that you drug out of Texas. Tell us a little bit about how that's coming along.
Yeah. It's called Project Ramcharger, which is a play on Ramcharger, which was a Max Wedge, 1962 through 64 Dodges. Well, I get a 64 Dodge Dart, which is it's a B body. It's a big car,
right?
Not a little Dodge Dart, but anyway, it's a 4-door police car. It's got the 9 in the second spot of the VAN. It's a 318 poly car, but has the 11-inch drums. Big, it's a heavy duty car. So I bought it out of Texas, $5,000. Trucked it to Massachusetts. It's fairly rust free, but on my YouTube channel, as I can and as time allows, I'm transforming it into a 4-door Max Wedge. So the sleeper REM, REM, Rapid Eye Movement, Ramcharger, kind of makes sense. I don't know. But yeah, Project Ramcharger, 62 Dodge Dart, 4-door Max Wedge, clone tribute car is coming together slowly on my YouTube channel.
Well, it's looking good, man. You know, I've got a buddy of mine. Of course, he passed away a few years ago, and that era of cars, that was his favorite. He liked them, you know, 64 Plymouth and all that kind of stuff. And he would take the 4-door station wagons, and he found out that the doors, he could swap over and make 2 doors out of a 4-door station wagon. Very cool car when he got done with it. Very little work to do that, the way it worked out, but it was very, very, very neat. So, but anyway, I love that stuff, man. I do. I love, that's the thing about it. You know, nowadays, you know, you get these people, they just buy parts and bolt on. But back when we grew up, you had to do the best you could. So you'd have to go out to the junkyard, find what you could, the best you could, and then put it together on low budget. And then it seemed like, you know, you get a lot of these YouTube channels that get started in that, you know, theory, and then money gets involved, and the next thing you know, they're buying a blower, and you know, and for the average guy out here making a living, it's just hard to make a hot rod, you know, with new parts.
Yeah, slicing and dicing. The LS, the Chevy LS engine, which can be found in pickup trucks and vans, and it's basically the heart of a Corvette. It's an amazing thing.
Mhm.
So it's a cheap way to go fast, but it is true that it's to slice and dice a car is it's not a dying art by any stretch. But I do find a lot of the diesel pickup truck people, they seem to be the ones who are really going crazy with freestyling and going crazy, just building stuff that's eye-opening and junkyard based, and bashing pieces together. But yeah, it all goes together at the same time. And there's a lot of young people involved in cars. I've seen, I don't think more than, it's been a long time since we've seen as many people under 30 involved with cars.
Mhm.
And it's a good sign for the future because, today's hot rodder is tomorrow's auto engineer. So, it's good to be hands-on with vehicles. It teaches you so many things about everything in life.
Yeah, folks, we're talking. Go to stevemags.com. You can check out all the stuff he's got going on, man. Love this guy. He is a car guru. There's no doubt about it. You talking about them diesels, man. I've got a little 87 Corvette, and I actually got blown away by a diesel yesterday or a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. At the red light, man. It's unreal how quick them things are, man. Of course, after about 2 car lengths, I couldn't see anything but black smoke, but
Yeah.
You got to get
so many ways to go fast.
Yeah. So anyway, but that, man, now you live in Massachusetts, and I told you, I sent you a thing. I said, move to Georgia, man, where the weather is nice and the tea is sweet. Why don't you, everybody else is coming down here. Why don't you pick up and come on down?
It's tempting. I will say the one thing about Massachusetts that I'll never get used to is the rust. A brand new fill in the blank becomes an old rusty critter within 5 years. It's horrible salt. But without the salt, we slide around and hit trees. Not good. I did spend 17 years in Los Angeles, which is, Mecca. It's paradise. It was too crowded. So I did my part to make it better. I left, right? So I'm happy here. Georgia's a beautiful state.
Yeah.
Sir, and the Commerce Dragway, it's a great place.
Hey, Commerce Dragway's gone, man.
No, what?
It's gone. They made a battery plant out of it. They sure did. They had the last race last year, sure enough. And I mean, a lot of us rednecks are crying. That's the thing about it. All this stuff that people they buy in next to a drag strip, and then they start complaining, and the next thing you know, it's done.
Yes, I mean, one of the case studies in that is the Pomona, the home of the Winter Nationals since 1959 or whatever it is. The Pomona drag strip in California. There were houses, there was an airport, and little by little, the homeowners associations, they got the power. So now Pomona, they're still around, but they have permission. They've been given permission to run about 4 times a year. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess you just got to plan. And it is true that a lot of junkyards have the same thing. There's a lot of junkyards that basically were out in the middle of nowhere. Now that there's a Walmart next door, the land is so valuable, they got to sell out and scrap everything. That happens too. So just got to stay ahead of the ball.
I'm with you on that. But I know Finnegan lives down here in Georgia now, so I know you know him. Maybe you could stay in one of his rooms while you're trying to find a place to live or something. That'd be cool.
Find a station wagon, a Suburban. I'll live in a Suburban in the backyard.
That'll work. Steve, man, I'm telling you, man, I'm a big fan of yours. Hope everybody else is. And if y'all are not, you need to go check out. If you're a car guy, you need to know who he is. There is no doubt. Go to stevemags.com. Anything we leaving out, I don't want to leave anything out, man, because I want to support you all I can.
Yeah, the Steve Mags YouTube channel. Every day, a fresh video, walk around. They're about 7 minutes long, sometimes 12, 13. It's just a little way to start your day, and it's a look-see at a car, and it's something interesting. So Steve Mags, the YouTube channel is the thing that's, most active right now. And, of course, Barrett Jackson on FYI on Thursday, Friday, and History Channel on Saturday. Coming up, I believe it is April 8, 9, 10, something like that, or 7, 8, 9 is what it is. Yeah. Anyway, if you want to watch the cars sell for big bucks and drool a bit or go buy a car, you can do that too. But so those two things are first and foremost in my world.
Hey, I'm all for buying a car if you'll co-sign for me, but can you do that?
You get the same problem. I go there to look at cars is what I do.
I'm with you. So anyway, well, I'll be seeing you one of these places. I guarantee it, because I definitely want to meet you. And like I said, keep up the good work. And folks, I'm not kidding you. I'll go to this Junkyard Crawl because he not only walks around the cars, but he tells you stuff that you just do not know. And it's amazing that some of the history and the text and the stuff that he knows about these cars that you never even realize. And it's very interesting. Steve, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Steve.
You take care.
Thank you for spending a little time with us. And remember, you can tune in every morning at WJULradio.com at 8 a.m. Eastern. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook, The Morning Dish.